Hi, everybody. So, with Memorial Day approaching, I just thought it would be kind of apropos to take a moment to reflect on Memorial Day and what it really means. A lot of times there's a little bit of confusion as to Memorial Day, Veterans Day, which one's which, and what does each mean. Memorial Day is a day that we take time to remember those who have fallen in war in service to our nation. I think a lot of times when we do remember these men and women, we kind of do so with, a lot of words and sometimes kind of empty gesture. I think, in my opinion, from my philosophy, the best way to pay homage to these people is to remember that they were really people and to remember those those real human moments that some of us may have shared with those very cherished men and women who have paid so dearly for our nation. So I wanted to take a moment to remember somebody that I served with when I was privileged enough to be in the Army. And I found out years later after I had gotten out that he had fallen in Iraq in a roadside attack. Every year around this time, I think of him. His name is Jason Hendricks. When I served with him, again, we were lucky enough for at that time to be at peace and not be at war. And so it was kind of more of the barracks life type of lifestyle that we were enjoying back then. I always think of Hendricks and just that kind of bro lifestyle that we held with each other. He actually had the room right next to my room in the barracks, so we were quite often drinking buddies and kind of in that party atmosphere together on the weekends and so on. A lot of our conversation revolved around just kind of your typical kind of locker room style talk, about different chicks that you were pursuing or hooked up with or whatever. Used to give each other a lot of hell about that kind of stuff. Hendricks was a self-proclaimed gym rat, always in the gym. He had kind of later on gotten a little bit more into bodybuilding and stuff like that. I always remember, it was kind of funny. We always gave him hell because he would always kind of size up everybody else in the company as to how big they were and where everybody ranked, and like he would always have just kind of this thing. Oh yeah, that guy over there, he works out a lot, but... And then he'd always say it the same way, just kind of with a little bit of a whisper, just like, he's not that big. He always did this with his hands, too. He's not that big. It was always just kind of a funny thing we used to give him hell about. But, shared a lot of good times with him and a lot of those real human moments. One of the things that, and again, just every weekend we'd, on Friday after formation, and company commander would kind of break us for the weekend during the cycles where we were free to do whatever we wanted. Same thing every Friday night. Hendricks comes over to my room, knocks on the door, beer in hand, and I was kind of that guy in the company that had a bit of an extensive CD collection. Yeah, we listened to CDs back then. It was the 90s. I'm old. But I had a lot of like classic rock and 80s CDs and things like that. And every Friday night, for whatever reason, Hendricks always wanted to jam out to the song Jukebox Hero. And I was the guy in the barracks that had that in his music catalog. So every Friday night, like clockwork, we'd get released from the company commander. Everybody goes, they do their thing. They shower. They get into regular human clothes out of the uniform. Sure enough, every Friday night, Hendricks knocks on the door, beer in hand. Cudworth, you got my CD? He wanted to borrow Jukebox Heroes. So it's kind of a thing for me on Memorial Day to maybe just give Jukebox Hero a play and think about those who were more than just a jukebox hero for our nation. They really have, in fact, given the ultimate sacrifice, given absolutely everything, and laid it all out there for us. So thank you to those of you who aren't here to listen to or see this right now. Thank you to those of you who still are around and have also given quite a bit to our nation and our nation's freedoms. Not a whole lot more that I can say to that. So thank you to all of those men and women. Thank you to Jason Hendricks, who served his country very proudly and very well. Sadly, he was lost to us in Iraq from a roadside bomb attack that occurred during combat maneuvers. Among his awards, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Meritorious Service Medal, Among the stories that I've heard about him from his time in Iraq, he saved a man's life. There was one of his fire team members was pinned down by fire, and he, with abandoned for his own life, went in and saved that, and went in to do what had to be done to save that man's life, and he died very commendably. There's really nothing that we can do to repay our debt to those men and women that have fallen in service to our nation. But at the least we can pay respect and give recognition where recognition is due. So, in addition to my taking time to recognize my friend Jason Hendricks, Staff Sergeant Hendricks, please, if you would like to share any stories that you might have from friends, relatives, people that have meant something to you in your time that we have lost in service to our nation, feel free to offer a recognition in the comments section here and allow all of us to properly give that recognition as well. Thank you to those of you, those men and women who continue to serve our nation. And thanks for watching. Goodbye. That's it.